Welcome back, everyone, to Open Line. We have with us two school board members, Sharon Gentry, School Board District 1, Christiane Buggs, School Board Member District 5, and several calls. We're going to go to Anicia. Hello, Anicia. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. This situation is disturbing on so many levels. Number one, the schools have been on the state's priority list for years, and nothing was done to make them improve. And Dr. Gentry, if you recall, several months ago in January, I asked if you would be willing to hold a community meeting so that we could dispel the rumors about the closing, specifically Robert E. Lillard. You agreed. It never happened. For you, Ms. Buggs, I asked you several months ago, I said, how can you all justify on the school board sending millions and millions of dollars to Hillwood and Hillsborough High when your own schools were not receiving adequate books? The teachers at Robert E. Lillard were saying that the equipment they were receiving, it was refurbished. So they was really falling apart within 6 months of them getting it. The school looks the same as it did when I was a child. And, you know, what is going to be so different when you send them to other priority schools that, in the case of Robert E. Lillard, the schools that you're sending the children to, from the chart you showed, those schools are performing worse than Robert E. Lillard. And I can't help but notice that you all are laughing, you're smiling. There is nothing funny about this situation. There's nothing funny about children who have gone to schools who did not receive an adequate education, and they're out there in the world. They probably could have succeeded better had their community schools actually received the same funding that these other schools received. And Ms. Buggs, you've apologized for it. You said you regretted that vote, but I don't see anything being different by what you're doing. And then on the other question about what's going to be different,
okay,
by chance, is the Reimagine program, is that program the program that's associated with Bill Gates, by chance?
All right, there's a lot there. There was a meeting.
I can start, though, if you don't mind.
But okay, yeah, go ahead.
Sure. So I've talked to this community member a few times, and I thank you for every time that you thank me for bringing up the different ways that we are now working to rectify. And this is another time when I need the community members to stay engaged, because at our last meeting, we started talking about how we can roll back that vote to send money to the Hillwood School and to not send all of those dollars. And unfortunately, we didn't hear a peep from North Nashville. We didn't hear anything from the community. When we started getting pushback from our colleagues, it would have been great to hear North Nashville say, yes, this is what we want. We are tired of not getting dollars from the capital facilities budget, the capital budget sent to our schools. We need that fixed. But so we are doing things, but unfortunately that doesn't make the news. That's not what community members are passionate about. That's not what they're engaging us around. So that's the first thing. We are doing something to fix this. And unfortunately we have to laugh to keep from crying, because and I've only been on the board for 4 years. I can't imagine the kind of turmoil this has been for Dr. Gentry. But when we are consistently trying to make shifts, we are consistently trying to do things to better our schools, and we are battling against systemic issues like racism or inequality, or inequity, but then we're also trying to make sure that our community members feel heard, feel engaged, feel empowered, know that we're listening to them, know that we're trying to battle their needs, but they also have other community issues that they're dealing with personally. It becomes just even more of an exacerbated struggle for us all. So the main thing that I want you all to walk away from is that we are doing things. I just ask you to watch the board meetings. Be upset, but hold us accountable by supporting the good moves or the good shifts that are happening. And then I would much rather have two priority schools that we can focus resources in, that we can have PTO involvement around, versus 3 or 4 priority schools where dollars are even more limited, where resources are even more scarce, and where it's even harder to monitor and make sure that there are teachers in classrooms, that there are books. And then I do need to answer that Reimagine program. No, it's not connected to anyone but the MNPS budget. This is us trying to make sure that we are engaging the community in a very authentic way, but that we're also making decisions based on what we know best practices are for our children.
And Sharon Gentry, she asked about a meeting, I think, that she felt like should have happened, didn't happen. What about that?
A meeting that didn't happen, but several meetings did take place. And so we had meetings to share with the community. But more importantly, what I want to focus on is pull the thread a little bit more on what Ms. Buggs said about, and Ms. Anicia's comment about what do you get when you're putting two quote unquote priority schools together? Again, it's consolidation of resources. And so again, if we don't have to pay, additional operating dollars in utilities and paying two principals' salaries, I'm now again leveraging the dollars in a more, I think, a way that shows more accountability, fiscal accountability. And it's not about and then you asked this question, is this going to solve the problem? No, but it's going to put us on a path. It puts us on a better path to getting better results for our students. Nobody said that the initial and the act of consolidating schools was going to be the turnaround. But we could not do what was best for students, having them across across District 1 and trying to slice up this pie into so many pieces where we could do more if we had those schools, as Ms. Bugg said, those students in a building together.
All right, so Tara, we're going to take your call next. We're going to take a break. Be back right after this.